PowerApps. Now, this is a Slack environment that I've created. It's just a bare bones Slack environment, and you can see that I've just spun it up with my demo tenant. And the first thing we have to do is, of course, get connected. So under connections, inside of your PowerApps environment, go and click connect, click the Slack connector, and create. It will authenticate now with my user that I have in the browser into the environment that's used here, but you can use other workspaces as well. And I'll just do allow, and that will add the app into Slack as well, and then add the connection right here. And if I want to use this now in an app, I'll do a blank app, phone app that we call Power Slack. And let's get connected to the Slack connector. I'll pull it up here, Slack. And you see, it is not a premium connector. Clicking this, we'll add it in here. And now I can start working with it. So let's start off with a button. And if you want to retrieve channels from the Slack environment, let's do a get channels button. Now the next thing we'll do is here, and we'll do a clear collect. We want to add that to a collection called channels. And now we'll invoke the Slack connector. And in here, there's a bunch of different things. So you can create channels, you can create a group, you can join a channel, you can list channels, and there's 3 versions of that. You can post messages, and you can also set the do not disturb. Now, why do we have so many versions of this? Is because we don't want to make breaking changes to the connector when we create them. So we create new versions of it instead of just replacing the old ones. And the legacy ones over a period of time might be because of deprecation on the API side from the connector or the connecting service, but then you would just change it to one of the other ones. So we'll do list channels, and of course there can be many channels inside of Slack. And when it returns it returns it inside of a data set, which is called the values. You also have an OData for the next link. So meaning that if you have a bunch of different, and it kind of supersedes the quantities that you have in the API, it will also bring along like a next link that you can call just to call multiple times and get all the channels. But I don't have many, and I'll just get it here. So now we've done that. You can press play, or you can hold Alt and click this, and it will return it. So let's see where the collection is. Now I have in here some collections, and I have one row in my channels collection here. Let's insert a data table, and we'll connect it to the channels, and we'll just put it all the way up on top right here. And we'll edit the fields, and we'll add the name. So there's an ID and a name here. I'll just add the name, and for this as well, instead of just having name, we'll do put in a hashtag, because that's kind of how Slack likes to do it. And so now it says general with a hashtag. And instead of saying names here, we'll do channels. Very nice. So now you see that we have a list, and we can get channels, and it will populate this. Next thing is, of course, we can create new channels. So let's create a button for that, and we'll do new channels. And to do that, we need a text field. So let's input a text input field. There's one more thing you can do with it. You can set it to private or not. So let's have a Boolean, do a checkbox. So that's true or false. Instead of saying option, we'll do is private. Okay, so now we can check this. And I don't like text inputs here. I always remove them and then say channel name. And so on the onSelect for this button where we want to create it, let's just call Slack dot create channel v2, and we'll see here name. What's the name? That is in text input 1, and we'll get the text variable from that. And then is it private or not? We'll do it from the checkbox 1 dot value. We'll end it with a curly bracket, close off the function, and then we have a functional one. Now, if I click this, it will pop up that, ooh, then there's no name in here because we have to enter a name. And if you also just say Microsoft, if I want to add that, it will say there's invalid space. And I did some research and digging, and I figured out it's because of the capital letter. It doesn't like capital letters or spaces. And so we can just put that as a rule under here, or let's just do one. Let's just remove the capitalization of this word. Let's do lower, parentheses, start, parentheses, end. I'll put that in there. And now, when I click it, another thing I want to do is I want to reset the let's say the connected value, because you want to reset these. You don't want to create multiple ones of Microsoft. So afterwards, or you don't want to delete it if you want to create like 10 channels. So let's do reset, and we'll reset the text input, and let's not reset the other one. That can be just selectable. And so when we play this now, we'll see we create Microsoft, get the channels, and we see we have now a new channel. And then we'll create another. And so we have different channels now. Okay, so if we wanted to post to this, now let's put in a new text input field that is just, we'll do multi-line text. So you see here, select line. Let's do multi-line text. And again, delete this and then put in message. Right, so it will say message now. I do want it to be a bit more complex than that. So let's do message to hashtag space. And then we'll include the name of the channel that we have selected. So in the data table, get the record that is selected and just give me the name. So now it says post to another, Microsoft General, and you can pick whatever you want. Okay, cool. So then we have that box. Let's insert another button to post the message. We'll call it post. So when I write this message, if this is empty, you don't want this button to actually work. So I'll do a display mode. And if is blank, the text input to dot text. Well, if that is blank, then it should be disabled. If not, it should be editable. And so now you see, very simply, I say something, and you see now I can use it. If it's blank, then you can't use it. Very, very simple functions there. And that's on the display mode on the button. And yeah, so I have a message up here now with that I can write, which is in text box 2. I'll show you here, input text box 2. And let's post it. So we'll do on select for this, on select. And what we want to do again is Slack dot post message. And the only thing we need now is, so you see here, there's the channel, comma, the text that you want to post, comma, and something else. We're going to do that in a minute. But you want to pick the channel that you've selected up here. So that is the data table, dot selected, dot the ID. So now we want the ID from the record that we've selected in the list. And then we want to return the text input to dot text. And we'll send that in. So let's see. We'll go in here. We see the new channels that's been created. And we'll go to Microsoft, which is the one that we've selected here. We'll post a message. Now you see here that it's posted with the Microsoft Power Platform connectors, and then it has the Microsoft logo in here. But you can also post as a distinct user. You can just go in and escape here, have a look at this, and then after this, and this is where the other things comes in. Now there's a bunch of non required fields that you can enter in here. It has to do markdown, true or false. Should it parse it? Do we do UNF URLs or not? What's the media that you want to enter into that URL? And what's the username of the user posting this? But the one is as user. And if you parse that and you pass that as true, we'll close that bracket. And yeah, also here, we want to do the reset stuff, right? Reset text input 2. Because we don't want this to stay like this. All right, so it's a me. Post resets and posts as me, the user that is authenticated with the app. Because when you log in and use the connectors, it will forward the ID of the user that you logged on as. So when you log on to Slack, it will just forward that and it will actually work like this. So that's really nice. What if you wanted to sort of post from a system account or a system message? Let's say you have a planning committee or something like that. So we'll, instead of doing as user, that is normally false, we'll do that. And then we'll add a username. And the username can be anything, but let's insert a text input like so. And we'll call it username away with text input. And now when we post this, what does it say here? Yeah, we have to enter the username here, of course. Text input 3.text. And let's see if this works. Hello from party planning. And if we post that, you see now it posts as party planning. But it's still using the Microsoft logo. Now there's another cool thing in here. I know if you didn't see it, but there is a possibility of using different icons. And the icon that you use can be either an emoji or it could be a URL. So let's just do one with an emoji, and you can post any image URL in there, which will then populate that image. But let's put in an emoji, and you'll just do like this. And we'll do this guy right here. I just need one. We don't need three. And you put it into brackets like this. So when we now post it, let's see, we'll play this app. Another message from someone. And you'll see now it also brings along an icon that you can have here. And what I figured out was that we can, let's do something cool with that. Let's move this bit over like so. And let's insert a text label that we have, which we'll call this one. Let's call it user icon. Now, we'll put it like this. And in the post message, we want to have the text that's in this label. So we'll do user icon.text. But now we just say text. And let's make a selector. I'll copy this, and in here, when you click on this, we'll just say on select set icon ID to and then we'll do an if statement. If icon ID is larger than 10, then enter, it should be icon ID plus 1. If not, set it to 0, and then we'll close that off. So now we have this very nice counter. I'll show you the icon ID in here. Icon ID, there we go. That's how it's spelled. Now there's nothing in there, but if you click this, it will just, yes, this way. Now if I click this, it will just count up till 10, and then it will say 0. So now we have 11 icons that we can put in. But in here, instead of having the text say text, let's put in a switch. And based on the icon idea, let's do something very fun. Let's do, if 0, we have 0 in there. then it should be, and then it should be an icon. So let's do this. And then we have 10 others. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There should be enough. All right. If it's 1, if it's, we'll do so. 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's close the brackets. Let's get out our. And so now we have a very nice selector. So when I click this, you see it runs through all the different icons. What happened right here? I don't know what that is. It sends a female icon as well. I think that's because of the advanced, let's see. There's another one. There we go. Now it's just the male one. I don't know why that sent. Well, icons. Go figure. So this is a very nice selector now. There's one thing that it does. I don't like the user interface of having the text cursor above this. So what I do is I normally then just insert a rectangle on top of it, like so. And then you'll put in opaque. So it's just fully opaque. Delete this. But on this box now, on rectangle 1, on select, we'll do select text box, no, label, and label. No, it was called, we called it something. We called it user icon. So when I select this, it will select the other one. It is as simple as that. So let's see how that works. Now we can click this, it will change these up, and then it will change the icon. So now we have something to write to Slack right here, and then we'll post it from Unicorn or from Angry Dude. Post. And now you'll see that this works perfectly. And this is how easy it is to connect the Slack API. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Do like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.